Hey guys, it's Tim and this is PWU Daily for April 4th, 2019. This is our Monday through Friday morning news show where we bring you a bunch of news in one condensed video. We run down a number of topics you may have missed over the last 24 hours, and then we talk about some other things that we can give some insight on. This show will come to you every Monday through Friday right here on the PWU Unlimited YouTube channel at roughly 11 a.m. Pacific. Now, if you want to be part of the show, all you got to do is head over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily to submit your questions to be answered on this show. And the one thing that I do ask is you keep the questions kind of timely to the news of the last 24 to 48 hours. If you can keep your questions somewhat relevant, maybe your question can actually be incorporated into a news story we do cover in an upcoming episode. So again, to get your questions answered in an upcoming episode of PWU Daily, you can do so by heading over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily. And also, this week's shows, they're all sponsored by WrestleCrate UK. WrestleCrate UK brings you a box of wrestling goodies each month right to your doorstep, and we've got a little deal for our listeners. Use promo code UNLIMITED at checkout, and you will actually get a free extra autograph in your first crate. The autograph could be from anybody, like AEW's Hangman Page, WWE Hall of Famer Edge, and so many more. Again, use code PWUNLIMITED. Use code UNLIMITED at checkout to get a free extra autograph in your first crate. Now, it's time for the quick news. Some of the news you may have missed over the last 24 hours. So, the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jey Uso, have re-signed with the WWE per a report from PW Insider. We actually know a little more on these new contracts that we will talk about later in this episode. Yesterday, it was officially announced that Jim Ross has signed with All Elite Wrestling. Ross has signed a 3-year deal with the company. He will be doing commentary and has signed on as a senior advisor. They're calling it the most lucrative contract in wrestling commentary history. Next week, on NXT UK, there will be an NXT UK Women's title match when Toni Storm defends her title against Jinny. Now, forewarned, this episode of NXT UK, this match, will be filmed this weekend at the WWE or WrestleMania Access event, so spoilers will be out there. WWE has changed the date of the upcoming Saudi Arabia show. Originally, it was supposed to take place on May 3rd, but now it's taking place on June 7th. Lars Sullivan has teased on Twitter possibly being at WrestleMania and possibly interrupting Elias. Interesting note, the tweet has since been pulled. The ankle injury to Rey Mysterio that WWE did actually make relevant and reveal on Tuesday is actually a real injury, according to Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. As of right now, Rey Mysterio's status for WrestleMania is in question. And finally, AEW has announced their broadcast team. AEW has announced that Alex Marvez and Excalibur, along with Jim Ross, will be doing the commentary. Justin Roberts will be doing the ring announcing, and Alicia Atout will be doing the backstage interviewing. Now, it's time for the big news. We got 5 stories on the dock for you today, and we're going to kick it off with Triple H talking about his match at WrestleMania with ESPN. Now, back at Crown Jewel in November, Triple H was injured in his tag team match where he teamed with Shawn Michaels to take on The Undertaker and Kane. Hunter tore his pec in the match and ended up having to have surgery. Now, while speaking with ESPN, Triple H talked about his match with Batista coming up this weekend and just how quickly that match actually came together, stating the following. Vince came to me in February and told me, "I need you to be in WrestleMania this year." And I was like, really? Because I haven't been cleared to train yet. I don't know that I'm going to make that. Batista and I had this conversation a while ago about trying to do this. Then I had to call him and go, dude, I tore my pec and I don't know what's going to happen. I'll see. To this day, I'm going to get in the ring next Sunday. And you and I We'll both find out at the same time whether my pec will hold on. I got cleared up to perform, and my training is good, and I feel good. But until you get in there, lifting dumbbells and getting hit by Batista are two totally different things. So I'll see how it goes, but I feel good, and I'm excited to get in there. And at this point in my career, I don't even want to make it sound like it's not as big as it is, but at this point in my career, it's all gravy. So when Triple H first was injured and first went down with this injury after Crown Jewel, it was being said that he could have been out of action for upwards of 8 months. Now when we look at it, it's only been December, January, February, March, April. 5 months. So for him to come back at 5 months, for Vince to want him back at 3 months to say, hey, you can get cleared in time, right? You can get cleared by April, right? That's just crazy. But it also makes it feel like back in February, Vince wasn't really, what's the word I'm looking for? Vince wasn't really that too happy and that too confident in the card that they had for WrestleMania when he said, I need you. Triple H, and I quote from Triple H's quote here, he says, I need you to be in WrestleMania this year. That's what Vince told to Triple H. But we'll see how it all does go. Triple H would not get in there if he didn't think he was up to it and he didn't think that he was going to be fine coming out of the match. But at the same time, his accident, his injury, I might say, was a freak accident. He did a spot that he does in almost all of his matches, and this time it didn't go his way. So we'll see how it goes. I think everything should be fine, though, for Triple H, even with Batista, who hasn't had a match since 2014, I think it is. Yeah, 2014. But we'll see. Speaking of WrestleMania, we're going to shift gears to WrestleMania Access. WWE is set to unveil a new WrestleMania Hall of Fame statue this Thursday, tonight, at Access. Now, in the past, WWE has kind of made it like a tradition the first night of WrestleMania Access to unveil a statue of a current WWE Hall of Famer. This year will be no different, as WWE stated the following Wednesday on their website. Thursday night, as part of the 5-day WrestleMania Access, a new WWE Hall of Fame statue will be unveiled. Notables in attendance will be WWE Hall of Famers Nature Boy Ric Flair, Sting, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, 2019 Hall of Fame inductee Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and more. So now, we speculate. We think, who could be getting a statue? Could any of these names that they mentioned be a hint? I don't think it's going to be Brutus Beefcake. It could be Ricky the Dragon. I can say Sting would be a really good one. Why not give Sting a, statue? I don't know why that word slipped my mind. I don't know why they wouldn't give Sting a statue yet. We've also heard reports that WWE has asked Hulk Hogan and Stone Cold Steve Austin to come to New York for WrestleMania weekend. So could the statue be of Hulk Hogan? Could the statue be of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Those are 3 names right there. Hogan, Sting, and Austin that I think are very likely to be getting WWE statues. But then the other question is, what do they do with these dang statues? I know the Andre one sits in the lobby at the WWE headquarters in Stamford, but what do they really do with them? And why do they... I get why they do them every year. It's cool to do. But the thing is, what do you do with them when you're done with them for Access? I think, and a lot of people think, they should do a physical Hall of Fame. They've got enough crap in their warehouse to basically say, hey, look at all this stuff that we can show you. They bring it to Access every year. So instead of doing a quote-unquote Hall of Fame-like exhibit at Access, why not have an actual Hall of Fame with multiple exhibits that they can rotate in and out throughout the years? So let me know your thoughts in the comments, who you think could be getting a WrestleMania statue or a Hall of Fame statue tonight at Access. Now going forward, we told you that the Usos have re-signed with the WWE, and we've got a little more info on that. So yesterday, PW Insider reported that Jimmy and Jey Uso had signed new contracts with the WWE. At the time, Mike Johnson of PW Insider didn't have any real specifics on the contracts given to the current SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions. With that, Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet actually has an update stating the following. PW Insider first reported the signings, which we've independently verified. We're told it's a 5-year deal that came with a pay raise. According to the sources, the brothers have been weighing their options for weeks, as there was also interest from All Elite Wrestling. And why wouldn't there be? Why wouldn't other companies like AEW, Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling all not be, why would they not be interested in the Usos? The Usos are easily one of, if not the best tag team in the world right now. I mean, they're easily in the top 3 along with the Young Bucks, Pentagon, and Phoenix. So for the Usos to sign this a 5-year deal, WWE had to give them something they really wanted because there was interest from outside. And we see in this report from Mariah Satin that they did get a pay raise, so that's good. It looks like they're doing that because we also heard when Becky signed her new contract, or at least was offered her new contract, she also was offered a pay raise as well. So it's good to see that the WWE is seeing the value of their wrestlers and seeing that their wrestlers can go elsewhere, so they got to give them what they want and something to entice them to stay with their company. Now, speaking of contracts with the WWE, one former ECW star or ECW champion's contract is expiring this summer. Former ECW champion Rhino returned to the WWE a number of years ago in NXT. At first, it was said that he was just going to work NXT events here and there, but also be able to still work indie dates. That was similar to the same deal Samoa Joe got when he first signed with the WWE. It wasn't long, though, before WWE actually signed Rhino to a full-time deal. They then moved him to the main roster, teamed him up with Heath Slater. They were the first SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, and then they lost the titles, got moved to Raw, and WWE basically did nothing with Rhino. Well, Rhino recently talked with Press and Guide about his new business and his current contract status with the WWE. The 43-year-old Rhino told Press and Guide that he wants to continue wrestling for another 8 years. Basically, he wants to wrestle till he's 50. He also talked about his current contract with WWE coming up in mid-July, but his future not really being that clear with the company, as Rhino stated the following. I love working with WWE. They're great, but I might have to go somewhere else. I don't know yet. So as of right now, it looks like Rhino's up in the air, I guess you can say, on what he wants to do next. Whether he wants to stay with WWE or he wants to go wrestle from somebody else. Wrestle maybe for Ring of Honor, New Japan, Impact Wrestling, and think about it. He's a former NWA champion with Impact Wrestling. Rhino did some really cool and great things during his time with Impact TNA. So maybe he can go back over there where they need some good new names, even though he's not a new name, but new at the time for now, to help rebuild that company. Impact is doing some good things with their product, but they just don't have, I guess you could say, the names that the fan base can get behind to really, I guess you could say, what's the word I'm looking for? Get the viewers that they need. So maybe, as a former champion of TNA and NWA Championship, Rhino can go back over there. Because, tying this in with our next news story, Rob Van Dam, former WWE, ECW, and Impact Wrestling champion, has signed a new full-time deal with Impact Wrestling. The 48-year-old former WWE champion is now working full-time with Impact starting at the end of April. Former WWE, ECW, and Impact Wrestling champion Rob Van Dam has signed a new deal with Impact Wrestling. PWU Insider has confirmed this with multiple sources. The length of the deal has not been confirmed as of this writing. Van Dam, who returns to Impact Wrestling actually at the United We Stand show tonight, will be at all TVs and pay-per-views going forward starting on Monday, April 29th in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He will not be appearing at the Rebellion pay-per-view the night before due to a conflicting event that he had taken on prior to signing the Impact deal. So with that, Rob Van Dam has re-signed with Impact Wrestling on a full-time basis. I know the first thing you're going to ask, why would they sign a 48-year-old guy? Who else is 48 and just signed a full-time deal with a wrestling company? That's Chris Jericho. Jericho is 48 years old, and he just signed a full-time deal with All Elite Wrestling. So, I mean, age may not be that big of a factor anymore. We know Jericho can go, but we don't know if RVD can still go. We do know, or we don't know, RVD's motives here. Does he need the money? Does he just really want to get back into wrestling? And who reached out to who? Was it Impact Wrestling? Was it Rob Van Dam? So we'll see how it all does go. This is very interesting. I know tonight at the United We Stand show, RVD will be teaming with Sabu to take on the Impact Tag Team Champions Pentagon and Phoenix in the main event. And I think that could be a really, really fun match. Now, before we go, we got a deal for you guys. It has to do with Pro Wrestling Tees. Pro Wrestling Tees is running their annual WrestleMania weekend sale that's already going on right now as we speak, and it ends this Monday at 12 p.m. The sale will give you 20% off on all stores, including the PWU Unlimited store. But if you want New Japan merchandise, LIJ, Bullet Club, Okada, and more, the New Japan store will actually give you 30% off of all items on their store. On top of that, customers can get free U.S. shipping if they spend over $150. All you got to do is use promo code MANIA at checkout. So again, all stores on the Pro Wrestling Tees website right now as we speak, you get 20% off. But if it's the New Japan Pro Wrestling store, you actually get 30% off. All you got to do is use promo code MANIA. Also, tonight, we will be live right here on the PWU Unlimited YouTube channel at 8 p.m. Pacific with a chance for you guys to win some prizes. Tonight, we're doing some WWE Pop Quiz Trivia. You guys will have the opportunity to call in. You will get 60 seconds to answer as many questions as possible from the WWE Pop Quiz Trivia deck. The caller who answers the most questions in a 60-second time span will win some prizes. The questions are stuff that's current in WWE, but there are also questions as far back as 30 years ago. So all I gotta say is good luck. But that's going to wrap up today's episode of PWU Daily. If you want to be part of the show, you can do so by heading over to pwunlimited.net/PWU Daily to get your questions in and ask them and have them asked in an upcoming episode. Make sure you hit that notification bell down below. But if YouTube's messing up and not giving you notifications, also make sure you follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited, as we will be posting over there when either we post a new video or we go live, so that way, if YouTube doesn't want to give you notification, those other social media channels will. Again, this is PWU Daily, Monday through Friday, right here on the PW Unlimited YouTube channel, every day at 11 a.m. Pacific. Have a great day, guys.